Hi everyone, it's Narelle here. Today I wanted to show you how to merge a couple of different SVGs together. So what I've actually got here is a monogrammed alphabet, and I've also got an image from Cuttable Designs. In fact, the monogrammed alphabet also comes from Cuttable Designs, and what I wanted to do was show you how I size them and merge them into one image. So it's actually very easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in the monogrammed letters. So I've uploaded the images, or I've downloaded the images from Cuttable Designs. I've extracted the file, and that then allows me to import those SVGs one at a time. So to do that, I go Upload Images, then I click on the blue Upload Image and then click Browse. So then I go to the folder that I've saved my SVGs into, and the alphabet I'm using is called this one here, Natural Circle. So I'm going to open that one and then go into that folder. Now I need the SVGs, but if I just single click on one of these images here, it will show me what those letters actually look like. Now what you'll find is when you go into the SVG folder, you'll find that each letter has three versions. So you have a center, left and right version of each letter. So you need to work out which letters need to be left, center and right, and then just select those ones. Some of the letters do have have an extra option. So in this case the D has an extra option, so it looks a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the letters of my name. So the first letter is going to be N, and that will be, so I need to look for the N left. So I'm going to double click on that one, and that will bring me to this screen. And that's what I want. Now I could put a tag in there if I wanted to, but I'm not going to bother in this case, but it does help if you're searching. And if you've already uploaded this and you want to search for it later, it's much easier to do that if you've put tags in. So I'm going to press save, and then that will appear right here. So that one's been uploaded. Now I'm going to go and upload the other two letters. So the way that monograms go, I'm told, because I've never actually used them, is you'll go first, last, then middle. So my next letter then is going to be a D, and it needs to be the one that goes in the middle. So I'm going to go D center. When I find it, D center. There we go. And again I press save, and then I'll go and upload the final letter, which will be a G, and that's going to be G right. So there's my three letters that I'm going to be using. And then I need my image. Now I've already uploaded a couple of these, but I'm going to do it again just to show you that it works exactly the same way. So I click Upload Image, Browse. Now I need to go to a different folder. So I'm still it's still by the same designer. So I've saved all of those in together. So what I want now is this one here, which is Aztec Bulb. And again I go to the SVG folder to get what I need, but you'll also see the previews of the different options that you've got. So I want one that's got the circle cut out of it, and this time, because I used the orange one first, I'm going to actually go with the pink one this time. So I'll select that one. Oh, now you can see what I did wrong there. I actually clicked on the SVG instead of, I clicked on the JPEG instead of the SVG. And you know that you've done that because this screen comes up. Now I don't want that, so I'm going to just click on the Browse button again, and I'm going to go into the SVG folder, and I'm going to find that one that I wanted, and I forgot to look at which one it was, but let's take this one. So I'll click open, and you can see that I've got the different screen here. So now I'll click save, and that will upload that one. So now I've got my 4 images. I'm going to click on both of the, so that all 4 of those, and I'm going to insert them onto my canvas. Now they all come in at the same kind of size, but the letters have come in, and they are, even though they look a bit weird, they are actually they have come in proportion to each other, and that's because of the way that those letters have been designed. So what we need to do is we just put them in the right order. So the G is going to go there, and the D is going to go there. So what you'll do now is you just need to align them so that they look like they are part of a circle. And you can see that the top of this letter, if you carried that line around, it would need to flow into the D. So I just need to move that one a little bit. Sometimes it's much easier to do this if you zoom in, so you get a better idea of what it looks like. And then you need to work on how close you want them. If you put them too close, then the lines don't flow, so we don't want that. So we'll move that back out, and we'll bring that, I think, about there. And then we'll do the same with this one. Now this one's a little bit different. You would think that possibly these 2 points should flow, but in fact it should be flowing to the top of that D there. So let's just pop that one in about there. Okay, so now I'm going to just zoom back out. So there's my letters, and what I'm actually going to do now is I am going to go to my layers panel and just group those so that I can just move them around as one image or one object. So now I've got this piece here, and I need to size this, or size this to fit the letters, or I can size the letters to fit the image. I'm going to size the image, so I'll get it approximately the size I want. I can't take that one up any further because the top of that image is as high as it can possibly go. So now I'll go to the letters and I'll move those. Now I want to have a little bit of space around it, like I've got on this one over here. So I'm going to click on that, and I can click the right hand button, and I can drag those in. But then what's happening here is that I'm not really getting a good idea of how much space I've got, because it's moved it from the right hand corner up to the left. So what you can actually do is take what you've got and center it as best as you can, and then hold down, select the object, hold down your Alt button, and then drag that in. And what it actually does is it drags it in from all 4 corners at the same time. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of what it's going to look like. So there's my first monogram done. So I can do several things I can do with that. I can cut it out as it is. Say I could possibly cut that out on vinyl. So I could cut the letters out on one color and the ornament out on another color. I could cut them all out on the same color if I wanted to do that. The easiest way to do that is to go to the sync panel and then just drag the letters down to whichever color that you want that to be. So if I drag that down there, they will all become that darker purple. Now this has actually got 2 colors of purple in it, so you've got your dark and your light. If you want it all to be one color, we can just drag that one up there, and now everything, and we'll get that too. Oh, it is that. So it's all one color now. So that's how you would do that. The other option that you have is if I say undo this and get it back to the colors that it was originally, I'm going to go back to my layers panel, and I want to select all of that. So I click that and that, and I'm just going to drag that down. What I could also do is I could flatten that. So I could do this as a print and cut image, and that will actually print it out exactly as it is, and then it would cut around the outside. So what I would then do is, with that all selected, I would click flatten, and it changes it into a printable image that would then, you would send to your printer and then cut out on your Explore. Now the only problem with that is that not only does it cut around the outside, but it will also cut inside all of these shapes here, and that may not be actually what you want. But there is a way around that. So what you can actually do, well, you have a couple of options. You can insert a shape. In fact, what I'll do first is I shall unflatten that. Now I'll insert a shape, and I'm going to select a square, and I'm going to unlock that square so that I can drag that into a rectangle. I'll send that to the back by clicking on Arrange and Move to Back. So I'm going to size that rectangle and position that as if it was, say, the front of a card or something like that. So I've got that. Now I'm going to change the color of that rectangle to white, and then I'll select all of that and I'm going to flatten. And what happens then is that our image gets flattened onto that white shape, and when we send that to the printer, it will print the image, and then when that goes to the Explore, it won't actually cut around that image, it'll actually cut around that white square. And the reason why we make it white is because printers obviously can't print white, so when you print it, all you're really seeing is the actual image that you're printing. So that's one way to do that. The other way to do it is a little more fiddly, but definitely worth showing you anyway, and that's to use the hide contour feature. So what I first need to do is take this back a few steps. So I'm going to unflatten that, and I'm going to move that rectangle out of the way. Now what I've got here is this image that I have unflattened, but if you look in the layers panel, it's still got a printer icon beside both of those. So we need to change that back to a cut button, and I'll do that on both of those layers, and now I'm back to how it was before I flattened it. The next thing I'll do is I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to duplicate that and just move that out to the side, and we'll keep that one as our original, and we'll work on this one here. Now for this process I don't actually need that monogram that's inside, so I'm going to move this out of the way so I can grab that and delete it. So this is what we've got here. Now what I want to do is make this whole circular piece here solid. So to do that I have to get rid of all these white areas. So what I'm going to do now is use contour. To do contour you must have an ungrouped image, so you can't work on images that have been grouped. So if I go down to the bottom here, you'll see that ungroup is available. If I try and use contour without ungrouping it, I will get an error message saying that it's not available for multi-layer images. So with that selected, I'll go down to ungroup, and I now have two images. So I'm going to be working on this one at the bottom. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to go to contour, and now you can see all of these blue lines, and as I move my mouse over them, anything that becomes highlighted is something that I can hide. Now I don't want to hide this outside area because that's where I want it to actually cut, but everything that's inside I want to hide. Now there are a lot of shapes here, so sometimes it does take a little while to do this process, but what I'll do is I'll show you another way after this that makes that a little bit quicker. So I'm going to move over some of these shapes and just click on them, and as I do that you can see they turn to a light blue, and that means that they're hidden and that they won't cut. Now I've got to be careful not to select that outside area. If I do and it goes white, or sorry, it goes light blue. If I click back here on the canvas, you can see that that outside area has disappeared. Now I don't want that to happen, so I go back to contour and I'm going to click in there to bring that one back. So I'll click on a few more, but you can see that when you get to places like this that it becomes very fiddly to try and get. You can zoom in and it becomes easier, but even still that's very tiny to try and grab. So what I wanted to do was show you an easier way to do it, and that is by using the weld function. So I'm going to leave it as it is, so you can see that I have hidden some of it. So now some of the pieces, so these here won't cut because I've hidden them. But what I'll do now is I'm going to go to Insert Shapes and I'm going to select a circle. And I'm going to put that circle in the middle approximately, and I'm going to use that trick I showed you before, and that's to hold down the Alt key and then resize that circle. I want that circle to be, now I can do it like this and select that and this one and select Weld, but it's only going to hide what it's covered, and we don't want that. We want it to get all of that. So I'm going to select Undo, and I'll keep resizing that circle until it's just slightly smaller than the shape that I'm trying to fill. So if I go just a tiny little bit more, I want to make sure you can see just on the left hand side here there's still some bits there that are showing, so I'm going to go a little bit bigger so it fits just inside that circle. So now I'll select both of those and I'll click Weld. And now you can see that what's happened is that shape has absorbed the circle that I put on there and has closed all of those empty areas. Now I could do the same for up here, or I could use contour on that piece there. That would probably would have been easier to do. I can try to fill that with another shape. So let's have a look at doing that with a square or a rectangle. We'll just move that over here, resize it so that it's just like that, and then press Weld again, and I've got that. Now I can do the same for the top, so just remember that anything that's open or white will be cut. So in this case it's probably just as easy to go to contour and hide them that way. So I'll hide that and that and that. Now I've actually hidden the outside, so I'm going to click that one back again and then grab that little one there. So now what I've got is two solid shapes, and I need to change those to white so that they don't print. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to hide the pieces that I don't actually want here, just to get those out of my way. So I don't want the white rectangle, so I could delete that, but I'll just hide it. I don't want the orange ornament, so I'll hide that. And then I've got two sets of letters there which I don't want, so I'm going to select that one there. Okay, so now what I've got is this ornament on the left where I've hidden everything on the inside, and I've now got a solid ornament, and then I've got this one on the right which was our original one. So what I'm going to do is I want to put this one on top of this one. Now if I have a look at this one, I have an ungrouped shape, and then this one over here is also ungrouped, and I can group those two if I want, but I'm just going to take this and I'm going to bring that over here. Now that needs to come to the front, so I'll select a line and I'll go to arrange, and it's not going to let me do it because I've got more than one image, so I shall do them one at a time. So let's take this one and move to the front, and then I need to also bring, what I'll do is I'll take those three and I'm going to, now you can see that I haven't actually changed those back to cut yet, So I probably should do that while we're at that. Change those. So I'm just not sure what will happen if I try and flatten a flattened image. So now I've got that. I'll take these. I'm going to, I don't think I can bring them all to the front at the same time. No, I can't. So I need to do them one at a time. Let's take this white one and we'll send it back. That's easier. Okay, and let's see what we've got here. Okay, so my two pieces were separate. I want to move this one at the same time. Got this, and where's my other white ornament? Down the bottom, because it's at the back. So I want that and that. It's being a real pain tonight. And now I'm going to move these two over here. Now I'll try and align them as best as possible, but I'm not going to get too worried. So I'll go and take this welded one, and I just want to bring that up a little bit. I'll select edit, and I'll change that to a 4, so that's pretty good. And then this purple piece here, I'm going to, it's not letting me take it. Anyway, let's just leave it the way that it is, because this could go on forever if I'm trying to be too perfect. So this is what we've got at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is, because I've got a solid white shape behind there, I'm actually going to select all of this, and I'm going to flatten the purple and the black onto the white. So let's see what happens when we do that. So this is what I've got now. So I have got one image, it's flattened everything together, and it's flattened it onto a white image. So it will go to the printer, it will print exactly as you see it, and then when it goes to be cut, it's only going to cut around the outside of that image and then around there as well. So it's going to cut these two pieces separate. So you could actually weld something to that if you wanted to before you flattened it, so that you could join that back piece onto there. Now you probably won't even ever need to do this. Mostly when people create monograms, they're creating them to cut out on vinyl anyway, but I just did want to show you that kind of the hide contour process, just in case you ever need to do it for something else. So there's the two different things that you can do with that. Now if you have a look at this one, I've got, what I'm going to do is show you the alternate D in that alphabet. So if I go back to upload images, I've actually already uploaded that one. So I'm going to select that one there, and let's go and take the N and the D, G as well, and this time I'll use the snowman. So what we've got here is our snowman, and the thing that I've noticed with this one is the alternate letter actually comes in much smaller. So what I need to do is stretch that one, and again I'm making sure that it kind of flows when I get that size. Put those two together. I'm going to change this to the same color as the N and the G. Now I could go into I could go to the layers panel, and I could click on one of those black letters and click there again, and it would tell me what the color is. So I could do it that way. Another way to find what color something is to use this really neat tool that I found called, and I'll just click on it here. It's actually called, I'll just have to hover over that so that I can grab the name. It's called Instant Eyedropper. So what you do is you install that, and then it'll will open up the little icon here. So you hold that down and then you drag, and then as you move the little compass point over an image or a letter or something, it will tell you what color that is. So if I move that there, it's telling me that that's the color. If I move that over here, it's telling me that that's the color. So now once I let go, it actually copies that code onto your clipboard, and you can then select this image here, go here and double click or highlight the custom color, select Control V, and it actually copies that code into it. So that's a really quick way to actually find out what color something is. So what I'm going to do again is I'll group those so they can be moved as one image, and let's make the snowman a little bit bigger, and we'll move this in here. So again, I'm going to put it kind of centrally, then I'll hold down the Alt button and I'll drag out until I get it about the size that I want. So there you go. So that's monogrammed alphabets from Cuttable Designs, and then the images are also from Cuttable Designs, and they are created especially for these sorts of projects. They actually have a lot of different alphabets in the monograms that you can select from. You've got oval ones, you've got we've got interlocking ones. They're very popular. We've got these sorts of ones here that actually have like a paisley thing in it as well. So lots of different ones there that you can choose from. And then I just looked for Christmas images, and then I looked for frames, and then it gave me all of these Christmas options in something where we can use those sorts of alphabets. So many different choices that you can do. So have a look at them, because they're really handy, and it means you don't have to start cutting circles into things to try and make your own monograms. And yeah, so hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.